right, we're up. We're live. Another episode of the Heist Garage's Shop Talk with your host, me, Alex. It is a little late. Father's Day. By the time this goes up, Father's Day has come and gone. But it's all good. I know a lot of you. We got something nice. Because I know a lot of you probably didn't get your father's anything. So we're going to hook you guys up with something nice. It's actually going to be two things. Well, not two things, but it's a giveaway of two things. And you can either keep it for yourself if you're a awful son, daughter, or you can give it to your dad as a late Father's Day gift. Either way, there's going to be a giveaway. We'll let you know how to do it, and you'll see it on our Instagram. But Father's Day, it's a holiday, I guess. Not that it doesn't go celebrated, because we celebrate it over here at the Heist Garage and in our household. But it's one where you think, me specifically with this podcast, I thought, how did my dad influence me to get into, cars? Because I know for a lot of us, a lot of our fathers or father figures, whatever it is, they're the ones who get us into cars, right? They're the ones who, you remember them working in the backyard, and a lot of the stories go as, I was the one holding the flashlight for him. They yelled at me, you're not pointing the flashlight right, man. Keep it straight. This bolt, not that one. Everybody's got funny stories like that. And I was trying to think how did I get into cars? Well, funny enough, it wasn't necessarily my dad. My dad did take auto shop in high school, and he did know a couple things here and there. He knew the basics, an oil change, how to jump a car, how to bleed the brakes, little things, nothing too crazy. And I'm not here bad mouthing him or anything. He just never necessarily pushed that on us. He never had any big projects, unfortunately. I'm sure if he had the money, or if he didn't have a family to bring up, he would have, maybe bought something to work on, to tinker with, but he never did. But he did teach me, my brother, a couple things. The art of negotiation. Also, one of his big things was it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. Right? That was his famous quote. And if anybody has ever talked to my dad and they've had a sincere conversation with him, or a deep conversation with him, it's always come to that. And it's true. And if you're one of the people that are the mechanics, or you're listening and you have friends that are mechanics, you don't necessarily, right? It's true. My dad didn't know everything, but he always knew someone that was going to come down and help us out. And he always had friends that knew how to work on cars. And even when I was going to school, and even when I got out, I couldn't necessarily work on everything for him. He would get a friend that he knew to help fix his car. Drum brakes. That was always a pain in the ass. It still is a pain in the ass. But he always had a friend who knew how to do that. He had a mechanic friend that would come on their Ford Focus, him and my mom's Ford Focus. That starter, it's like a 2006. That starter, dude, you gotta loosen up the dang motor mounts to get to that starter and jack it up a bit. Some BS. So I couldn't do it. I didn't have the equipment. And again, my dad knew someone. Which brings me back to my point. If you're the mechanic, you're usually that someone, right? Again, like my dad said, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And if you're a mechanic, you're the who you know for other people. You're always getting those calls. Hey man, I'm broken down. My battery, this, that. And I'm like, I told my homie that you can hook him. I was like, And every time that happens to me, or every time someone brings it up and they're like, they DM me a friend or whatever that I haven't talked to in a long time, and they're like, hey, you're a mechanic? Like, you do? Yeah. Oh, bro, I need, I need this oil change. I need this tune up. I need to do brakes and this and that. And I'm always like, dang, dude, is that all you want me for? And then it brings me back to what my dad said. It's not about what you know. It's about who you know. And I'm the who you know now. And I guess that's kind of partially what brought me into this field. I kind of wanted to be the guy, the who you know, not to brag. And I kind of am now for the family. Not really, but because, again, if nobody likes working extra and It is, anyways. Point is, happy Father's Day to everybody. If you're a father listening, you're not a father, you have a father, you're thinking of becoming a father, all that good stuff. Because everybody has a father, right? It's impossible not to have a father. Anyways, but yeah, I couldn't help but think, like, dang, what did my dad teach me? What did he teach me? And a couple funny stories. He actually took shop in middle school, I believe, but I think his middle school went up to ninth grade at the time. So he was, he would, I remember he would tell us how, they would get the teachers' cars. They would work on the teachers' cars because, the teachers would, simple stuff, like I said, oil changes and like just simple routine maintenance. My brakes are soft, the brake pedal soft. All right, let's do a brake bleed. Do an oil change. So he would tell us, or me, that he would get the teachers' cars, and then it was always like that dumb whole, oh, that's a teacher that we don't like, oh, let's kind of mess with their car. And I don't think he ever necessarily messed with the cars, but it was that, I guess. My dad knew the basics, taught it over to us as much as he could. And then once I got into it, I think it kind of came out of left field for him too. When I was like, oh, I'm going to school. And they were like, all right, cool. And then I was like, I'm going to become a mechanic. My dad was like, oh, okay. Not that he didn't support, because my dad supported us for everything. For everything. I could have freaking gone to college for Klingon or something, and he would have been like, all right, cool, go for it, son. But I think it did come out of left field. I didn't necessarily show like crazy interest in like, oh, I want to work on cars. I wasn't around, and when I was little, like, oh, how does this work? No, it came late, but nevertheless, he supported me. He honestly helped me out a lot. I was an 18-year-old man, as you can say. No, not even. I was like 19, 20. I still didn't have a car because I didn't have a full-time job. Started going to school. So I would take like the train, and it's not like school was far, but I would take the train, and so I would take the train in the morning or what have you. And not even that. At this time, I was like, I'm gonna go for my AA degree. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna show the world that this kid can do something with his life. I mean, and so I was taking like a math class and English class and all that. And what he would do, the supportive father that he would take my mom to work. He would come back. He would take me to school, which wasn't even that far. He would take me to school. I would get out, and then he would come pick me up. And then after that, I had a class later on, and it was actually in Southgate. And that was, again, my fault. I wasn't paying attention. And so either he would take me, if he had something else to do, he would pick me up from that class. We would wait about an hour and a half, and then he would take me to the Southgate campus, pick me up from there, and then drop me off, and then he would go pick up my mom. So all day he was basically our Uber. He was a family Uber, like many of your fathers are. But because I was like, I'm going to school, this is what I want to do, this is what I want the rest of my life to be, my dad was like, I got you. I'll do this. And my dad never said, like, he never gave like a pep talk of like, son, this is what you want to do, go after it, da 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 da. No, I think he knew that I knew that 100%, because I did. I knew if I'm doing this, I gotta go 100%. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get it done, and I did. But the fact that my dad was like, yeah, I'll pick you up, I'll take you here, I'll do whatever, and he never even said that, like, straight up, like, oh, I'm gonna do this for you, but you have to do this. No, I would just ask him, and he was like, let's go, I got you. And even though he didn't get me into the automotive field, like a bunch of people say, again, they have the dad that like kind of tinkers around the house, and then they find cars and like, oh, this is cool. Or their dad is an automotive technician. They're already a mechanic. And they're like, come on, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you that. No, my dad didn't necessarily do that. But like I was saying, even though he didn't get me into this field, didn't get me started in it, he helped me get through it. And I want to applaud him, any other father figures out there that do that, whether it's the automotive field or anything else, the supportive fathers, even the fathers that are just in your life and that show up day in and day out. The ones that are in the automotive field and that are motivated to get those 100 hour plus and flag hours because of their family, and they know what they got to do. I want to thank all of them. They help the automotive industry move forward. They help make the best technicians, and my dad was one of the best at doing that. I Again, he never told me like, if you don't do this, like, it's gonna disappoint me, anything like that. But the fact that I saw that he was willing to pick me up, dude, again, 20-year-old, I'm 20 years old, I should have a car, and he was like, I got you, don't worry about it. Because I was taking the 5-week classes, so I was in class for about 5-6 hours, and then I had a part-time job, and even then, like, he never quit. He never stopped supporting me. He never stopped supporting me in anything. Any of my brother, my sister, nothing. He was there all the time. So on this day of fathers, I want to thank him and any other fathers out there. You guys know what I'm talking about. Those very supportive fathers, even the ones that are hard-headed and that like were always on you, things like that. It was for a reason. It was motivation. They wanted to get the full potential out in you, or they saw potential that you didn't see in yourself. And my dad was one of the best at doing that. He was a silent he was a silent promoter. Yeah, he was a silent promoter. Like I said, he didn't, I got you. No, I would just ask him, and yeah, he never failed. He said, yes, I'm there. I got you. I'll pick you up. But yeah, it's funny that he didn't get me into cars. Like I said, he just kept it going. He saw that I was doing it, and he was like, all right, cool, keep going. He would ask questions, and like, what are you doing there? And we would laugh, and he would tell me like, oh, did you do this? Or like, how do you guys do this? Oh, okay. Oh, I remember one time, this Civic came like hauling ass through our block, but it sounded bad. It sounded like an exhaust leak. It sounded like he bought a cheap exhaust, and then he had an exhaust leak on it. So it was like screaming. Dude was probably, I don't know, but it was screaming, my dad looked out the window. He was like, damn, why do they do that? Like, does that even help anything? And from my knowledge, it can, but the way he had it set up, it just wasn't right. And I told him, like, I mean, I guess it could. You gotta have enough air coming in for it to push out, and just like a simple whatever. And I could have been wrong, I could be right, but he was like, oh, okay, because that just doesn't sound right, and it really didn't. So even my dad knew, like, wow, this is bad. But it was always cool. Because then I started getting obviously more and more into it. I buy my like little set, buy a Ratchet set, and I start accumulating more tools. And he's like, oh, what's that? Like, the more I got into it, the more he got into it. And I liked that. That was fun. I like talking tools. So talking tools with my dad was just another plus. When I was like my last semester in class, I got the student deal with Matco, and I had like an impact gun. I had a Silver Eagle set, metric and standard. It came with a couple spark plug sockets. I got like 2 breaker bars, a 1/2 inch and a 3/8. Just like a little starter kit, just something quick that I'm gonna need. And he was like, oh dang, you got all that? Like, yeah, I got all this. And he was like, oh, that's cool. Like, oh, what is this? And again, he didn't really know. And nothing against these brands, but he grew up with like Craftsman and just stuff you can get lying around. So it was cool for me to go experience that, and then he was experiencing it as well, and he was like, wow, I never seen this. And then I think that's when it kind of hit a little more, like, oh, he's just like for sure serious. Like, he's dropping all this money on it. Like, that's crazy. And as that grew, it grew. Like, we would watch shows together. The most popular show that we would watch, it was called it was Fast and Loud with the Gas Monkey Garage and Richard Rawlings. And I had seen like every episode. I knew everything, but looking back, there was nothing better than when my dad would be like, oh, come here, like, look at this one, look what they're doing with it. And I was like, oh yeah. Sometimes I would now I can say it, sometimes I would kind of like act like I've never seen it. I was like, oh, but it was cool seeing what my dad liked. I was like, oh, okay, You know, the C10. That's what. Okay, it's a truck. Oh, this Mustang. Oh, this Dodge Charger. Oh, this. Oh, so it was cool to see that, and then have the interaction of like, oh, I like that. Like, I don't know, like that's a lot. What, he sold it for that much? It's like, yeah, pops. Like that's how much they're going for, and he's like, dang, what I would do with that money. And so it was cool. It was cool, those little interactions, and I'm sure that's what a lot of you have. A lot of people have with their dads and their interactions when they're in the automotive field. And then when I started working on cars, and I was over here banging my head. Why isn't this working? Why can't I do this? One of the ones was like a water pump for a Nissan Altima that I was working on for my cousin. One of the pulleys, I was like cranking it, and I cranked it so like it got loose, and the pulley came off, and I kind of freaked out. I was like, oh my god, what the hell? It wasn't even the pulley. Well, it was the pulley tensioner. So I was like, oh my god, what do I do? I don't want to. And I was freaking out, and my dad was like, are you all right, man? Like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, I think this. And he was like, oh. But he was there. And it got dark, and he pulled up with a big old lamp, and he was like, look, you're going to need this, man. It's already getting dark. You got to figure this one out. And I was like, oh, I know. But he was always there, no matter what, whether it was to be support, comedic relief. And it was cool. I appreciated every moment of that. But yeah, like looking back, I just always thought it was funny. Like, what got me into cars? Wasn't my dad necessarily. But yeah, it was crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. And always remember that. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And it's still true to this day. But yeah, that being said, I know it's late on Father's Day. And I know a lot of you guys probably didn't get your pops anything. Got him a 6-pack, and that was fun for about an hour or two. But now your dad's sitting there thinking, what the hell am I gonna do now? What do you all got for me? What do y'all got for me? So this week, the Heights Garage, and you can follow us at the Heights Garage on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Facebook, even though we don't post much on there, but we will be posting this week. We have for you guys, and it's actually 2. We're going to be giving away 2. You heard that right, 2. Harbor Freight Icon 3/8 low profile 24 karat gold ratchets. We have 2 to give away, and you heard that right. The 24 karat gold 3/8 ratchets from Icon. Let me give you a little description here. What we're giving away is 2 Icon special edition 24 karat gold plated 3/8-inch drive professional special edition gold plated ratchet. Has a low profile head for easy clearance cramped work areas. The precision machine 90-tooth gear-to-gear mechanism produces a tight 4-degree arc swing for easy work in small places. This ratchet's polished finish offers superior corrosion resistance and easily wipes clean. The Icon professional tool is backed by a hassle-free manufacturer's lifetime warranty. So you heard that right. It is a gold-plated ratchet. We're going to be giving 2 away on our Instagram page. We're going to make a little post. You're going to have to comment. You're going to have to like it, tag a couple people. Because at the end of the day, we want to get more eyes on this. We want to keep doing giveaways. But we got 2. So let's break it down. It's a 3/8 drive ratchet, so you can only fit 3/8 drive sockets. It is a 90-tooth ratchet, meaning you hear a lot more clicks. So when you're in a tight area and the bolt, it's going to give you good leverage. It's 90-tooth. Usually you get ratchets that are like 70, 72 teeth. Gives you 4 degrees of an arc swing. You get 4 degrees for you to bust open a bolt. That's not bad. 90 teeth. You're not going to be there messing around, Again, it's gold plated. 24 karat gold. It comes in this nice box. I don't know. You can hear that plastic, boy. Nice little felt case. And yeah, you're probably thinking like, dude, what am I going to do with that? No, you're probably not going to use it every day. You're really not. You're going to keep it in your box. Your dad's going to keep it in his box if you decide to give it to him in a special drawer. And when you have like one of those nice show cars, or when you're working on something on your own and you're like, oh, I got just the tool for that. I know, ooh, that clean bolt, and you're like, ooh, this is the start of something big, or you're finishing the project, and you're like, oh, I got just the tool for that one. And then you pull out, you open up that drawer. The sun is just beating down on that drawer. You see the light is flashing. Birds are chirping. It's like a dang Disney movie here. Like a dang Disney princess is living in that drawer and it's just singing on some Fiona type shit. You take out the box. You put it down on your workbench. You crack open that plastic cover, that safety shield. Pop, pop. Take it out. You got that soft velvet around it. Hasn't been touched. No fingerprints on it. No smudges. The gold is beating down. You lift it up. You got 24 carats of gold in your hand. 4 degrees of arch swing. You're either breaking that first bolt. It's like an inauguration. It's like an inauguration to the rest of your summer. Or it's the commencement. It's the graduation of moving on. Summer nights cruising, all ending with this gold. 3/8, 24 karat gold plated ratchet. You tighten that bad boy up, start it up, boom, first try, it fires. And you're like, I couldn't have done it without you. I couldn't have done it without this simple tool. You clean it up, you bathe it, put it back, close that case, put it back in your special drawer, close it up, tell yourself, well, that was a job well done. And you wait for the next project to pull it out. And yeah, it is kind of a novelty thing, right? It's a gold-plated ratchet. You're not walking around day to day with a gold-plated ratchet. You bring it out when your buddies are around. And they're like, oh, laughing at your tool set. It's like, that's whack. You ain't got this, you ain't got that. Come over here, boy. You ain't got this. Look at this. You pull it out. Psst. That vacuum sealed, air sealed, tight drawer. You see the smoke coming out. You got a little mechanism that brings it up. And the room goes silent. Your friends are looking at you like, what the hell is that? And it's your gold ratchet. After all, as a mechanic, that's all we do it for, right, baby? We do it for the ratchets. And why have this? Why have a regular old plain ratchet when you can have a gold one? You feel me? Gold plated. Something special. For your eyes only. For when you want to show off. Your buddies are going to go crazy. No way, you got this. Yeah, I got it. And then they're like, well, where'd you get it? Thanks over to my boys at the Heights Garage. They hooked me up. Or they hooked my dad up. They got him right. You know, you never know you're missing a tool, or you never know you needed a tool until you got it. And let me tell you, with this ratchet, oh, you got it. And by it, I mean, you got that gold, baby. Market goes down. Guess what? You sell this sucker. You pawn it. You might not get a lot because it ain't a real gold bar or anything, but you'll get something. But that's what we're doing this week. We're giving away 2 gold ratchets. So we're going to make a post on our Instagram. You're going to like. You're going to comment a couple buddies. And that's it. And you're going to sit and wait. Turn on all your candles. Pray to the gods. I hope I get this ratchet. Because it's nice. It's a nice ratchet. I would keep it myself. I've always wanted to get my own. Again, because it's a novelty thing. I'm not going to use it every day. You take it to work again. And you're like, oh, I got the tool just for you. You pull this bad boy out. It's a showstopper, I tell you. Dang showstopper. That's what we're doing. Late Father's Day gifts or gift to yourself. Whatever you want to do. Take credit. You can even say you bought it yourself. But deep down inside, you're going to know the boys at the Heights Garage hooked you up. That's what we're doing. But on to the next, right? Harbor Freight. We were there. This is where we got those Icon ratchets. We're a firm believer in Harbor Freight. I personally have a bunch of stuff in my toolbox. They haven't failed me yet. And on the idea that, what gets us into the automotive industry, what gets us into the shop, what gets us working, there's nothing like a good starter kit. And I can't stress enough about starting at Harbor Freight. I know a lot of people, and back in the day, they're like, Harbor Freight, dude. I mean, it's cool because you can just get that lifetime warranty on whatever, and it's going to break, and it's going to break. So you can just walk in and get it. Might as well, but whatever. I think they've come a long way. I'm sure back in the day, before I started, they probably were just a really crappy tool store. But now with this whole Icon line, US General, but yeah, you can get a nice toolbox. You can get a nice starter set for more than half the price. These ratchets that I got, I mean, yeah, you can see them. So, but these gold ratchets, again, they're just a novelty thing. $69. There's a 3/8 ratchet. I don't know how big it is, but yeah, it's a 3/8 ratchet, gold plated, again, novelty. But it was only $60, $60 for a ratchet. I mean, you go on that tool truck, it's hard to find. It's hard to find a ratchet for $60. 90 teeth. It's got lifetime warranty. So whoever wins this, if breaks, go into a Harbor Freight, they'll give you a new one. But you can get their other ratchets for probably less. And you can build on from there. You get a 3/8 ratchet, you get a couple sockets, metric, standard, whatever you're actually working on. If you're in the automotive industry, maybe you're gonna go metric, go all the way up to like 20, 21 millimeters, starting at like 7, whatever it is. Get yourself a couple wrenches, and you're still, if you have a budget of $500, you can mix and match. You can get Pittsburgh stuff, you can get Icon stuff. I preferably like the Icon stuff because it is like the top, the higher tier in Harbor Freight, and it's nice. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Even if when I was told about Harbor Freight, they were like, yeah, it's cool if you're a little backyard mechanic, if you're a little tinkerer, you're not necessarily taking this too serious. But then I got into the automotive industry. I obviously started off on Matco. I got a couple things from Snap-on, and when I say I got a couple things, I have minimal things. I have a 1/4-inch electric impact. I have a 3/8 ratchet, the long one, and I have a 1/2-inch air impact gun, and that's about it. And that was it. Everything else, I have my wrenches, my standard wrenches. They're the Icon from Harbor Freight. My impact sockets, deep and regular, Harbor Freight. What else? Like organizing tool or organizers, all that. My toolbox, my tool cart, Harbor Freight. And I think my next toolbox is probably going to be a US General. They're like 20, what is it? I don't know. Point is, if you're starting, or even if you're in the field and you need more tools, or you don't want to break the bank, you go to Harbor Freight. The only difference is that you got to pay everything up front, right? And that's, I think, what kind of has people running away from Harbor Freight, from kind of stepping back, because you can go onto the tool truck and you can get a tool that's going to cost you $200, but you don't necessarily have to pay the whole $200 bill then and there. You can do payments of $20, but something that's going to cost you $200 can cost you like $100 at Harbor Freight. It's going to be really good quality, same quality. You're going to get the lifetime warranty. You're just going to be able to walk into any Harbor Freight. You're going to be able to exchange the tool. Nothing wrong with that. So again, if you're starting off and you're looking into tool sets, you're looking into Snap-on, you're looking into Matco, Cornwell, and that's all good. I got no problem with that. I got a bunch of Cornwell tools. Ozzy will tell you. I got a bunch of stuff off his truck. I got a couple things off the Snap-on truck. But there's nothing wrong with Harbor Freight. Yeah, people are going to laugh at you. I don't even want to say it like that, but people may laugh at you and they may look at you and like, really, Harbor Freight? But at the end of the day, if you have the tool and they don't, guess who's getting the job done? You are. Guess who the boss is going to be like, hey, we got this brake job. We need someone on it who can do it. I tell you right now, it's not going to be homeboy that's over here like, hey, you think I can borrow this, or can I borrow this? I got this job. Nah, it's going to be you. That's how you move up. That's how you continue to learn. That's how you get the big boy jobs. You feel me? That's how you get them big boy jobs. It's about being ready. And that's what I believe Harbor Freight can offer. The readiness. And there's Harbor Freight's everywhere, right? It's a chain store, just like there's tool truck guys everywhere. But you only see your tool guy once a week. Even if you have multiple tool guys, you see them once a week. We see the Cornwall guy once a week. We see the Snap-on guy once a week. But you can go to Harbor Freight any day of the week and get something warrantied out. You need a tool then and there. Now you go on the Harbor Freight app. Oh, they got it. They got the Icon one. Cool. You go and get it. Just like we got to go and get this bread, right? No, but yeah, Harbor Freight. I see nothing wrong with it. When I was in school, we would joke and laugh about it. As you go into the field, I see nothing wrong with it. Guys to this day, they're buying Pittsburgh. They're starting to get into more Icon because it does, it does. And you can say that to a lot of people. There's people on both sides of the spectrum. They're like, I don't notice a difference. A Ratchet's a Ratchet. And to some other ones, maybe it's all delusional and it's just the price tag that we're like, oh, it's a little more expensive. The Icon's more expensive than the Pittsburgh, so it's got to be better. But I'm that biased too. Like I feel the wrenches. I'm like, oh, they feel nice. They got a little more weight to it. They flow in the palm of my hand. So I'm gonna get the Icon. And I don't know. To me, the Icon just feels better than the Pittsburgh. But they got the same warranty, and the Icon's not that expensive. It's really not. Like I said, these ratchets were about $60, and it's a nice ratchet. It's a novelty ratchet. So the other ones are probably a little bit cheaper. $50 or something like that. They got nice sets. They got standard, metric, and they have everything. They got ratcheting wrenches. They got the flex head ratcheting wrenches. They have stubbies. They got regular. They got the extra large ratchet wrenches. They got the really big ones. They got it all. So if you're starting off, or if you need a set, I don't see why you wouldn't go to Harbor Freight. I bought my sockets there. My impact sockets are from Harbor Freight. My wrenches are from Harbor Freight. And in total, I probably spent like $300 versus a set of one specific thing on the tool truck is that price, the $300 price range. And don't get me wrong, it's nice to have that nice Snap-on or something from Cornwall, right? That nice Snap-on set. He has our guy has a 3/8 ratchet set that comes with a regular and then a stubby ratchet, and it comes with standard size and deep sockets, both in metric and standard. It's got all the extensions, the swivels for it. That thing's, damn near $1,200. And I'm like, God, but it's a nice set, right? Snap-on. Oh, whew. It's $1,100 for a ratchet set. Again, I spent $300. I got wrenches and sockets. You can walk into Harbor Freight and get what you got to get and be out. Still have lunch money, you feel me? And so that's where I stand with it. At first, again, I was like, Harbor Freight, you fall into that you're a sheep of like, the automotive standard. Oh, I need a Puro Snap-on. But then you start working and you're like, dang, I need this tool, man. I ain't trying to spend $150 on one ratchet. I'd rather spend $150 on a set of ratchet or a set of wrenches. And that's what it is. If you can afford that, go for it. If again, I got nothing against the tool guys. I really don't. I don't. But some stuff, I'm like, man, you think about it, you do the math in your head, and you're like, man, I need to work on 10 cars to make the money for this one ratchet. Or I can just keep working the way I'm working and get one from Harbor Freight. You do the math in your head, and it just makes more sense to me. And again, like I said, you can build up. You can start out with the tool guys, because that's what I did. I started with Matco, and then from there I built up, and I kept, you keep accumulating tools. You keep you keep moving up in the ranks, and you're like, okay. And some tools, they're specialty tools. You're only going to be able to find them on tool trucks. You're only going to be able to find them on the tool trucks, and there's nothing wrong with that. Harbor Freight has a lot of stuff. I'm just saying, if you can, start there. Listen, if you're going into the automotive field and you need a starter set, go to Harbor Freight, get your ratchets, your sockets, your wrenches, your little things, your punches, your picks, your clamps, your pliers. Get all that for now, and then build up. You're like, all right, cool. You go into the tool truck and you're like, I do need a 1/2-inch ratchet. Let me get this hard. Let me get this one. You build up like that. So at least you have a base. Right, you have a base of, all right, cool. I got these. I got this. So I can be a lube tech. I can be a tire slinger for now. And then you go up and you're like, oh, okay, I need brake things. Like, I don't think Harbor Freight has like brake pad spreaders. I got mine off Cornwell. I know like AutoZone has those ratchety ones. You can find them on Amazon, those ratchety ones. But what's that brand? Dang it! It's in the red plastic, but it's one of the ones that it looks like a gun, and you push it, and it pushes the brake piston in, and it has a little release. I had to get that on the tool truck. The impact sockets, or not sockets, but the impact screwdriver, the one where you put it in. And then you hit it, and it turns it. I had to get that off the tool guy. Harbor Freight didn't have those tools. I think they do have the brake pad spreader, the piston spreader for the one that spins. But even then, it's like a bare minimum one. I got the one that I got off our Cornwall guy. Our drum, the drum brake like toolkit. To take them off, to put them back on and all that. I got it off Cornwall. Some tools you're not going to be able to find at Harbor Freight. But you work your way up. And then you're there and you see this gold ratchet and you're like, I got to have this in my arsenal. I got to let everybody know. I got that sauce. I got that sauce. There's nothing wrong with it. They a lot of their stuff comes with a lifetime warranty. I haven't really used their like electric tools or their air tools per se, but I mean, no one I really know has kind of used them, so I can't give you a gauge of whether or not they're good. Not that I guess I don't trust them, but hand tools, tool storage. By all means, go for it. Get yourself a little starter toolbox, a little tool cart. That's what I got. To this day, I got it, and I've outgrown my tool cart within like the past 2 years. But I'm going, when I upgrade, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Harbor Freight again, baby. U.S. General. God bless America. God bless Harbor Freight. But yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. Sometimes you just you gotta be the wolf that's running, not running away from the sheep, but the wolf that's leading the sheep. That's the big dogs. You gotta go your separate way. A lot of people are gonna hate on Harbor Freight. Oh, you can't do this. You can't. It's fine. It's fine. At first, I thought it was something that just to get you by, but I use my wrenches every day. I use my sockets every day. And it's on heavy duty stuff. Again, work on semi trucks, alignments for semi trucks. And knock on wood, or nothing's happened yet. Haven't hurt myself using those tools. They get the job done, right? They get the job done. That's what it is. You don't necessarily have to spend all your money to make money. You can find those deals, those discounts to get the job done. That's all I got to say for this one. It was a very short one. We're sitting around 40 minutes. But definitely follow us on Instagram at The Heist Garage. Follow us on TikTok at The Heights Garage. Follow us, like us on Facebook at The Heights Garage. We're going to be doing this giveaway. We're going to be giving away 2 Icon 3/8 gold special edition ratchets. We're going to make a post. All you got to do is follow the post, follow the rules. Be nice in the comment section. I don't really care. But follow the rules. You'll be entered to win one of 2 gold Icon ratchets. And again, you can give it away. You can give it to your dad as a late Father's Day gift. Keep it for yourself. We're going to be doing that giveaway. Follow us on Instagram at The Heights Garage. Follow us on TikTok at The Heights Garage. If you'd like to support our brand, head over to theheightsgarage.com. Get yourself some merch. Keep listening. We'll get through this together, whatever it is that we're getting through. I'm Alex. This is The Heights Garage's Shop Talk. And as always, everybody, remember to tip your mechanic right. Be patient. Don't diagnose your own car. And as always, keep it Boyle Heights built, baby.